If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, so are you ready to dive deep?
Always.
Today, we're going to unpack the stories behind some of the biggest names in tech.
Okay.
You know the founders who shaped the digital world we use every day?
Yeah.
From shopping to connecting to accessing information.
It's wild how different our lives would be without those innovators, right? Seriously.
Some started in garages, others dorm rooms.
Yeah.
But they all had that spark of ingenuity.
Mm-hmm.
So today, we're exploring that spark.
Uh,
We're going to be covering Amazon, eBay, Etsy,
mm-hmm.
Walmart's current CEO, who's leading their digital push, Facebook, and of course, Google.
Sounds good. Ready when you are.
Okay, let's start with Jeff Bezos and the Amazon empire.
Okay.
I mean, imagine quitting your stagel Wall Street job
Right.
to sell books online from your garage.
I mean, what year was that?
That was 1994.
Wow. What possessed him to take such a risk back then?
Well, it wasn't just about selling books.
Right.
Bezos had this almost radical vision of customer obsession. And it wasn't just like a slogan.
Right.
You know, it was baked into like every decision.
Oh, I see, yeah.
You can see it in their early adoption of customer reviews.
Which was unheard of at the time.
Totally. And their focus on making shipping faster,
Yeah.
even if it initially meant lower profits.
Interesting.
It's crazy how Amazon went from books to basically everything.
I know.
Like Amazon Web Services or AWS. That completely changed how companies access computing power.
Yeah.
Then you got Prime Video, which challenged the entire entertainment industry.
Right.
And of course, Alexa, which is practically a member of some families.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They weren't just innovating, they were like predicting the future.
It's true. And that relentless innovation, always looking for the next opportunity, that's like a hallmark of Bezos.
Totally.
Even beyond Amazon, you know, he's invested in Blue Origin for space exploration.
Yeah.
And the Bezos Earth Fund to tackle climate change.
It seems that drive to solve big problems doesn't stop at online shopping.
Definitely not.
Okay, so speaking of shaking things up, let's move on to another e-commerce pioneer.
Okay.
Pierre Omidyar, the brains behind eBay. This guy, a French-born programmer, basically revolutionized online auctions.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it all started.
I know. It really highlights the power of a simple yet revolutionary idea.
Yeah.
Omidyar wanted to create a level playing field where anyone could buy or sell anything.
Right.
Which back in 1995 was pretty radical.
Totally.
And what's interesting is that what became eBay actually started as a side project.
Really?
Called Auction Web.
A side project. That's incredible.
Yeah.
What do you think he saw that others missed?
I think Omidyar grasped early on the need for a trusted marketplace where buyers and sellers could interact directly. You know, this idea of democratizing commerce, empowering small businesses, this was unheard of at the time.
Yeah.
And it really paved the way for like all the numerous online marketplaces we use today.
Totally.
Yeah.
And like Bezos, Omidyar transitioned into philanthropy with the Omidyar Network.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see this trend among tech founders. You know, they build these huge companies, and then they turn their attention to improving the world.
Yeah.
Do you think building these platforms, like, gives them a unique perspective?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Maybe they see the potential of technology to drive positive change, you know, beyond just business.
Right.
It could be that the challenges they faced in building their companies gave them insights into the challenges facing society.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So while Amazon and eBay might seem like the giants of online retail, Etsy comes in with a totally different vibe.
Right.
They focus on handmade and vintage goods, which feels like a breath of fresh air in a world of mass-produced everything.
Yeah, it is.
So Etsy was co-founded by Rob Callen,
Okay.
who is an artist and carpenter who envisioned a space for creators like himself. He wanted a platform built on connection and community, not just transactions.
Yeah.
It was Chad Dickerson, who later came in as CEO and scaled the company
Okay.
to what we see today.
Very see.
It's like the anti-Amazon in a way, right?
Yeah.
Etsy appeals to shoppers who are looking for unique pieces, often one of a kind,
Yeah.
and wanting to support individual artists.
Right.
There's that desire for authenticity and ethical consumption that Etsy really taps into.
For sure.
Exactly.
And Etsy proves there's room for like various models of success in e-commerce by focusing on a niche market and fostering a strong sense of community. They carved out a space that's like distinctly their own.
Right.
It's a testament to the idea that you don't have to be the biggest to be impactful.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered the online marketplaces. Now let's look at a company that's been a retail powerhouse for decades.
Okay.
Walmart.
All right.
So while Doug McMillon isn't a founder in the classic sense,
Right.
his leadership has been instrumental in Walmart's digital transformation.
Definitely.
I mean, this is someone who started as a summer associate back in 1990
Wow.
and worked his way up to CEO.
Talk about knowing the company inside and out.
Yeah.
I mean, McMillan recognized the shift to e-commerce.
Yeah.
And he knew Walmart had to adapt or risk being overtaken, especially with Amazon as a competitor.
For sure.
So,
And adapt they did. McMillan spearheaded the acquisition of Jet.com in 2016
okay.
to boost Walmart's online presence.
Right.
And then he, very strategically,
Yeah.
integrated e-commerce with their massive network of physical stores,
Oh, smart.
offering things like curbside pickup
Yeah.
and same-day delivery.
That's brilliant.
It really is.
It was such a smart move,
Yeah.
leveraging their existing strengths while recognizing the evolving consumer landscape.
Exactly.
It wasn't about abandoning their core business,
Right.
but finding innovative ways to bring it into the digital age.
Colay.
And McMillan's focus on affordability, sustainability, and customer centricity, like, perfectly aligns with Walmart's core values.
Right.
Just reimagined for the 21st century.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, are you ready to dive into the world of social media?
Let's do it.
I think we all know where we're headed next.
Yeah.
Facebook.
The big one.
Yes. And it's as legendary as you've heard.
Okay.
Mark Zuckerberg, a Harvard student, launches Facebook from his dorm room.
Yep.
And it explodes across college campuses.
Yeah.
Eventually becoming a global phenomenon.
So Zuckerberg's story is often cited as like the ultimate Silicon Valley success.
Right.
But it's important to remember he wasn't alone.
Right.
He had co-founders,
Yeah.
Eduardo Saverin, Andrew McCollum, Dustin Moskovitz, and Chris Hughes, all of whom played a part in Facebook's early days.
Right.
It was a collective effort.
Yeah, but Zuckerberg has undeniably been the driving force
Oh, for sure.
behind Facebook's evolution.
Yeah.
It began as a way to, connect with college friends and transformed into a vast ecosystem
Yeah.
with Marketplacer for buying and selling groups for finding like-minded individuals and Messenger for, messaging just about anyone.
Yeah.
It's so much more than just a way to share photos with friends now.
And then there's the rebranding to Meta.
Yeah.
And the shift towards the metaverse.
Right.
This virtual world that Zuckerberg believes is the future of social connection. It's a bold move.
Oh, yeah.
And whether you embrace the idea of the metaverse or not, you can't deny Zuckerberg's ambition and willingness to, push those boundaries
Totally.
of what's possible digitally.
Speaking of pushing boundaries,
Okay.
let's round out this deep dive with the company that's practically synonymous with the internet.
Right.
Google.
Google it.
Haha. Behind this search engine giant is another incredible duo.
Yeah.
Larry Page and Sergey Brin.
Mm-hmm.
These weren't just two guys tinkering in a garage.
No.
They were Stanford PhD students
Wow.
who revolutionized search
Yeah.
with their algorithm-driven approach.
Right.
It's hard to believe that Google wasn't always the go-to
I know.
for finding information online.
What's remarkable about Page and Brin is that they took something incredibly complex,
Right.
the vastness of the internet, and made it simple and accessible for everyone. Remember the days before Google?
Oh, try not to.
Haha, right?
Yeah.
Searching online was so frustrating and often fruitless.
Totally.
Their algorithm prioritized relevance and accuracy,
Yeah.
which fundamentally changed how we access information.
It really is hard to imagine life without Google.
Yeah.
It's become our go-to for, everything. Answering those random questions that pop into your head, researching topics for work or school,
Right.
finding directions when you're lost, you name it.
Yep.
And Google's influence extends far beyond search.
Right.
They have advertising with Google Ads, cloud computing with Google Cloud, hardware like Pixel phones and Nest devices, software like Android and Google Workspace. I mean, the list goes on and on.
And in 2015, they restructured under the parent company Alphabet Inc., which allowed Page and Brin to take on like broader leadership roles and explore even more ambitious projects.
Right.
You know, it reflects that same drive to constantly innovate and push technological boundaries that we see in other founders we've discussed. It's like they're never satisfied with the status quo, always looking for the next breakthrough.
I love that.
I mean, it's mind-boggling to think how these companies, which started as like relatively small ventures, have become such integral parts of our daily lives, you know?
Yeah, they've not only revolutionized how we do business, communicate, and access information, but they've also like shaped our culture and how we interact with the world.
Absolutely. Like,
that's true.
A few decades ago, the idea of ordering anything you wanted online, connecting instantly with friends across continents, or having a world of information at your fingertips. It all just seemed like science fiction.
Totally.
And now, thanks to the vision and determination of these founders, it's just like normal.
It's just normal. Which leads us to an interesting question.
Okay.
Like, what common threads can we find in the stories of these successful tech founders?
Yeah.
What lessons can we draw from their journeys?
Yeah, what lessons can we draw that apply beyond the tech world?
For sure. Well, one thing that jumps out at me is their incredible drive and willingness to take risks.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't just have ideas.
Right.
They had the courage to pursue them, even when it meant, like, facing uncertainty. And stepping outside their comfort zones.
Absolutely.
Think about Bezos leaving a stable Wall Street career to launch an online bookstore from his garage. That was a huge gamble.
It was. But he believed in his vision, right?
Clearly. He was willing to bet on himself. And it wasn't just about that initial risk.
Right.
These founders also demonstrated, like, remarkable adaptability. You know, they had to constantly adjust their strategies, embrace new technologies, and even pivot their entire business model to stay ahead of the curve.
It's true.
They weren't afraid to change course when needed.
Yeah, and like
Facebook's evolution.
Facebook is a perfect example. Starting as a social network for college students to a platform for communication, commerce, and even like virtual reality experiences. Zuckerberg's willingness to embrace change, even when it meant facing criticism, has been key to Facebook's continued relevance.
Totally.
Although some argue that this constant change has come at the cost of user privacy, sparking debates about data security and the responsible use of personal information.
It's true. It seems like there's always a trade-off. You know, a balance to be found between innovation, impact.
Right.
But getting back to common threads, we can't forget about customer focus. Whether it's Amazon's obsession with delivering the best possible shopping experience, or Google's commitment to, like, providing accurate and easily accessible information. You know, these companies have succeeded by putting their users first.
Absolutely.
It's a valuable lesson for, like, any entrepreneur or business leader.
Yeah, for sure. Understanding your customers' needs and constantly striving to exceed their expectations. It's crucial.
So crucial.
For long-term success.
It's like they took that old saying.
What's that?
The customer's always right. To a whole new level. But in the tech world, it's more than just being right. It's about anticipating needs. And delivering solutions that truly enhance people's lives.
Absolutely.
But it's important to acknowledge that the path to success for these founders wasn't without challenges or controversies.
Oh, definitely not. We've seen intense debates about privacy, data security, the spread of misinformation, and the impact of social media on our mental well-being.
Yeah, these are complicated issues with no easy answers. And they're only becoming more important as technology continues to evolve.
It's true, and it's crucial to have those open and honest discussions, about these challenges.
Yeah.
We need to critically examine the impact of technology on our lives.
Right.
And ensure that it's being developed and used responsibly and ethically.
Absolutely.
And that responsibility lies not just with the companies, but with us, the users.
Yeah.
We have choices to make about how we engage with technology.
For sure.
And what we allow it to do.
It's that classic idea. With great power comes great responsibility. These tech giants wield enormous influence.
Yeah.
And it's up to all of us, users, policymakers,
society as a whole,
yeah,
to hold them accountable and ensure that technology is a force for good.
Absolutely.
We have a role to play in shaping the future of tech, even if we're not the ones, writing the algorithms.
Right. And taking a step back, it's fascinating to consider, like, the unique contribution each company has made to the digital landscape.
For sure.
Like, Amazon revolutionized online shopping. eBay created a global marketplace for peer-to-peer commerce. Etsy empowered independent creators.
Yep.
Walmart adapted its retail dominance to the online world.
Right.
Facebook connected billions of people.
Yeah.
And Google made information readily accessible to everyone.
It's like a tapestry of innovation,
yeah,
with each thread representing a different aspect of how technology has transformed our lives. And what's even more incredible,
what's that?
Is that this tapestry is still being woven.
It is.
The tech world is in constant flux,
with new challenges and opportunities emerging all the time.
So this brings us to a question for you, our listener.
We'll like this.
If you were starting a tech company today, what problem would you solve?
Okay.
What would your unique contribution be to this ever-evolving digital world?
What's your big idea? We've seen how the founders we've discussed today identified problems and created solutions that changed the world.
That's right.
So what's the next chapter in this amazing story of technology?
Yeah.
What will your chapter look like?
Yeah, it really is an exciting time to be involved in the tech space.
Totally.
The barriers to entry are like lower than ever before.
Yeah.
And the potential for innovation is limitless.
Right. The tools and resources available to aspiring entrepreneurs today, it's astounding.
Yeah. And you don't need a fancy degree from Stanford or $1 million investment to get started,
Totally.
What you really need is a great idea, the hustle to make it happen, and a whole lot of passion.
Lots of passion. And who knows, maybe someday we'll be doing a deep dive into your story.
That's right. That's the beauty of the tech world, It's a constantly evolving landscape where anyone with a great idea and the drive to succeed can make a real impact.
I love that.
The stories we've discussed today, they prove that it's possible to go from a garage or a dorm room to changing the world.
It's incredibly inspiring.
It is.
These stories are a reminder that innovation isn't limited to a select few.
Right.
It's out there for anyone willing to dream big, take risks, and put in the work.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what groundbreaking ideas are brewing out there right now.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're feeling inspired, if you have that itch to create something new, don't hold back.
Explore your ideas.
Connect with others who share your passion and see where it takes you.
It's exciting.
It is. The next groundbreaking tech innovation could be just around the corner.
It really could.
And it might just come from you.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive.
It does.
Into the fascinating world of tech founders.
We've explored their journeys, their struggles, their victories, and the incredible impact they've had on our lives.
From those humble beginnings to building global empires.
Right.
Their stories are a testament to human ingenuity, the transformative power of technology, and the enduring spirit of innovation.
It's true. So you go about your day interacting with the technology that's become so seamlessly integrated into our lives.
Right.
Take a moment to appreciate the visionaries who made it all possible.
And remember, the future of technology is still being written.
It is.
The question is, what role will you play in shaping it?
That's a wrap for today, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Today is your lucky day. Today is the day that our $3 website works for you, paying you directly to your PayPal daily. Imagine $3 ongoing continuous payments to your PayPal account. Imagine falling asleep and waking up to $300 in your PayPal account. How would this make you feel? How could this help you? What bills could you pay? What kind of fun could you have? What does that retirement look like now? All for a one-time payment of $3. This website is DFY done for you, fully built and completely hosted, and never stops collecting payments for you. You have spent $3 on coffee on a regular, but that coffee won't help you create multiple streams of income. Click the link below.